Today we are breaking down one of the most common problems Amazon sellers face. Why does Amazon reject an invoice even when the invoice is real? Many sellers think this way. I bought the product, I have an invoice, so Amazon should accept it. But Amazon Document Review does not work that simply. Amazon is not only checking whether you bought something, Amazon is checking whether your document proves the specific issue under review. That is the key difference. A document can be real and still not be strong enough. Let's break this down step by step. The first level of review is the invoice itself. Does the invoice have a date? Does it show the supplier? Does it show the buyer? Does it show business names and addresses? Does it show product names? Does it show quantities? Does it have an invoice number? Does it look like a normal commercial document? These details matter. But this is only the first level. The second level is supplier logic. Amazon may look at who issued the invoice. Is the supplier a manufacturer? Is the supplier an authorized distributor? Is the supplier a real wholesale company? Can the supplier be verified? Does the supplier make sense for this brand and product? This is where many invoices become weak. For example, imagine a seller is selling a branded supplement. The seller submits an invoice from a small online store. The invoice may be real. The seller may have really bought the product. But Amazon may not see a clear connection between that store and the brand. So the problem is not always that the invoice is fake. The problem may be that the invoice is weak as supply chain evidence. The third level is product matching. Amazon needs to understand that the product on the invoice is the same product connected to the ASIN under review. If the invoice says one product name, but the Amazon listing says another name, that creates a risk. If the brand is missing, that creates a risk. If the size, model, pack count, or variation does not match, that creates a risk. If the invoice description is too generic, Amazon may not accept it. The seller may understand that it is the same product, but Amazon is not required to guess. The fourth level is quantity and timing. If Amazon is reviewing your sales, your invoice needs to make sense against those sales. If you sold 300 units, but your invoice shows 24 units, that may create a problem. If the invoice is too old or does not fit the reviewed period, that may also create a problem. The fifth level is case alignment. Your invoice must fit the actual Amazon case. An invoice used for ungating is not always the same as an invoice used for an authenticity complaint. An invoice used for ASIN reinstatement is not always the same as an invoice used for listing compliance. Different Amazon issues require different proof. This is where sellers often make a serious mistake. They submit the same invoice for every problem. But Amazon may be asking different questions. If Amazon is asking about product authenticity, the invoice must help prove authenticity. If Amazon is asking about approval, the invoice must support approval. If Amazon is asking about listing compliance, the invoice may not even be the main document. Now let's talk about what you should not do. The solution is not to create a better-looking invoice by changing facts. That is dangerous. The solution is to understand what is weak in the document package. Is the issue the format? Is the issue the supplier? Is the issue the product match? Is the issue the quantity? Is the issue missing business information? Or is the whole document strategy wrong for this case? A safe review process looks like this. Step 1. Read the Amazon notification carefully. What exactly is Amazon asking for? An invoice? Supply chain documents? Authorization? Compliance documents? An explanation? Step 2. Compare the invoice against the request. Does this invoice actually answer the request? Or does it only prove that you purchased something? Step 3. Review the supplier. Can the supplier be verified? Does the supplier make sense for this product? Does the supplier support the claim you are making? Step 4. Review the ASIN match. Can a reviewer look at the invoice and understand which Amazon product it supports? Step 5. Review quantity, dates, buyer information, and account consistency. The goal is not to upload a PDF quickly. The goal is to submit evidence that supports your case. The main lesson is this: Amazon invoice rejection does not always mean the invoice is fake. It often means the invoice does not prove the exact thing Amazon is trying to verify. Seller docs. Help helps Amazon sellers review invoices before submission, identify weak points, prepare safer document packages, and support appeals, approvals, and ASIN reinstatement cases. We do not promise approval. We first check whether the documents can safely and logically support the case. If your invoice was already rejected, do not keep sending the same file again and again. First, find out what Amazon still cannot verify.